Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and for the Hearts Come Home project that I'm going to share with you now, there are so many possibilities. I had so much fun designing this one because first of all it starts with a cute pizza box. Ta-da! Isn't that fun? And then when you open the pizza box, it has in it this cute envelope folding album. So there's so many different ways to use this. You could, for each of these little cards, take it out and put a note on it. You could put pictures in it. You could put a picture here, so it's just sort of a lift the flap kind of thing. But this is a really neat way to use the cute stamps from Hearts Come Home and also the 3x3 mini envelopes that Stampin' Up! Came out with in the holiday catalog. So let me give you some tips. There are quite a few for this project, including using your ink on your pizza box, and we'll get stamping. Okay, so grab your pieces for this, your pizza box and your packet. I'm going to set the packet aside and just use my pizza box to start. I am going to use a sponge brayer. When you get the sponge brayers, you actually get a couple of these little foamy things. So the nice thing is you can swap them out for different colors. So this one happens to be stained pink, but it's clean. And I'm going to use my Pool Party ink and go ahead and brush this across the front of my box. And you can see I'm kind of getting like a little bit of stripey there, which I don't really want in the end. So I'm going to turn a lot as I go so that I am mixing up the direction of my brayering. Okay, so you can use your sponge brayer to do this. If you're working with a Stampin' Spot, you can just ink your brayer on your Stampin' Spot like that, and just make sure you keep turning your project and your brayering will even itself out. So another trick you can use is instead of brayering in a straight line like this, you can brayer and move, and that helps to really soften some of your lines there. So before I assemble now, I'm going to go ahead and fold on all of the lines. You want to be careful when you fold on this line here not to bend these cute little edges. Those are part of the like insert tab here things, so you want them to stay strong. Okay, so whenever I put a box together, I pretty much always like to fold everything before I start assembling. And this box should stick together just fine without any adhesive. So I'm going to fold in here. You'll note that there's actually little tabs. The tabs are going to fit in that slot too, along with the tabs from the front. So I folded my sides in. I'm going to bring this around and tuck it down into that little tab on the front. See how that works? Okay, so if you've mashed these accidentally, you're going to have to pop them out a little to make room for those tabs to pop in there. And then finish the top part just like a pizza box and pop that down. And there we have our finished colored box. So now we're going to pull the pieces back in from here. I have foil, snowflake, and silver. So on here I'm going to stamp my Joy to the World in Pool Party ink. Okay. And then go ahead and trim this here, trim your little banner ends, and I'm going to trim them pretty tight to my Joy. And then I'm going to add my strip of the silver foil sheets. Okay. And it's a little bit longer than it needs to be, so I'm going to pop it to the ends and then just go, I like to look at the back so I can kind of see what I'm doing, and trim away my extra. I'm going to layer this with Stampin' Dimensional. You can use a couple if you want to on the front there, and pop this here. And then actually I'm going to trim this almost to match. Got some stray pieces here. I'm going to trim it a little bit behind the white layer. Okay, so that the white peeks out a little bit further and it kind of changes the way it frames just a little bit. Okay. Alright, so there we have our Joy to the World. And then this is going to layer here on the front. I'm going to just use my Fast Fuse. The silver foil and the gold foil snowflakes have a lot of holes in them, so it can make it tricky to adhere them if you're not kind of covering them up in some way. Alright, so I've got that attached there. I'm going to add our banner, and I'll pop a couple Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And pop that down. Layer that on the side, just kind of at an angle. And then there's this fun piece of tinsel, and you are going to tie a bow, and I'm going to do it kind of to one end because the other part of the same tinsel is going to be for our hanger for the inside here. So, okay, so I've got a bow tied. Actually, did you want to see that? Okay, so to tie a bow around nothing, go ahead and make a loop, and then wrap around the, so I pinched it right at the bottom. I'm going to wrap around the loop and go through the hole, same as like a regular like tie your shoelace kind of bow, except that there's nothing in the middle. See how that works? And then I'm going to trim an end, and then this can get popped here on the front, and I'm going to use a couple of mini glue dots to do that. So okay, so there we have our mini pizza box front. So lots of fun ways to decorate those. Now I'm going to grab our other pieces and start assembling. So to make the base of our banner piece here, you're going to use 3 of the 3x3 mini envelopes that are in the holiday catalog. And these are going to get attached to each other. And I am using my fast fuse instead of the adhesive that's on the envelope. You could lick them if you want to, but I kind of like using the fast fuse. Then I don't get the like when you lick them, they get damp, and then sometimes they warp just a tiny bit. So you can also use tear tape for this, and I'm going to add the next one. So now we have 3 in a row, and all the little pockets are facing up, including this top one. And this last bit, just to reinforce the top and keep that top envelope strong, I am gently tucking this inside. There we go. Okay. And then there is a piece of cardstock here that is punched because you need to attach this here, and we don't want it to show. And I was afraid we could have put it inside the hinge here, but I was just afraid that it would rip out because the top of the envelope is creased. So instead, I'm going to pop a whole bunch of fast fuse on the back here and layer this here. Let's see if I can, actually here, let's turn it sideways. It'll be easier for you to see. I'm going to kind of layer that. I'll kind of give it a little stick. There we go. And now I'm going to slide this inside here so that it adheres our topper. Okay, so this now has our cute little foldy thing that fits inside our pizza box. All right, so let's make some cards to go on these. You have 3 pieces of cardstock that are cut to 3 by 6 inches. You're going to go ahead and fold each one of these. The colors are Lemon Lime Twist and Pool Party and Powder Pink, and they are great in combination. I just love the way the colors offset each other. The pink and the Pool Party are so soft, and then the Lemon Lime Twist is kind of that punch of energy. I'm going to go J here with my Pool Party. I'm going to go pink in the middle with my O. Make sure you keep the center of the O die cut there. And then I'm going to go Lemon Lime Twist here for the Y. Now then you want to mix and match your colors here. So this one is going to have the pink insert. I'll do the Lemon Lime and then the Pool Party. And then the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and adhere this. So without adhering our letter, I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this and then use the letter as a guide. There we go, to get that inside piece placed where I want it. So go ahead and repeat that, and now you know that your colored contrast pieces are going to show through the holes just perfectly. Okay, now there are some other pieces here. You have a strip of the silver foil paper. This is going to go at the bottom of each one. And you can attach it now or you can do your stamping first. But the letters were cut actually with the large letters framelits dies, which I love. These are a really cool thing to have on hand. I actually use them quite a bit. So they're great for birthdays or for initials. When we do kids like birthday present tags and stuff, a lot of times we'll put an initial on or a name if the name's short. So they're a really neat tool to have. And so I've cut the J and the O and the Y for you. Now we need some houses. There are a ton of fun little pieces in this set, and we're going to go ahead and use our stamps to go ahead and ink them up. So I'll show you the J. I will say one of the things that I find is that having multiples of blocks like the A block or the B block is really helpful. So if you want, you can even go and like figure out which houses are going to go on which one, and then we're going to use the trees on all of them. Okay, and then you can line up your stamps. So I think I'm going to stamp the house to match the background paper for each one. So I'm going to ink up my little house here. I'm going to go ahead and give him a stamp there. I'm going to use this little smoke stamp. Get the dimensional backings off and give us a little curl of smoke there, and then some stars. Just a couple here in the background. Again, be really gentle when you're stamping with the stars because you don't want to over stamp and end up with a big smudge around the edges. And then our trees. So there's a big tree and a small tree, and you can use both of them or just one of them, or you can use one of each. Maybe I'll do one of each on this card. I'll put one tree over there and one tree over there. So there is our first one. You're going to go ahead and do that on the O and the Y. Okay, so I've got those stamped, and then I'm just going to add some adhesive along our strip here and just start adhering. So right here at the bottom of each one, and then I'm going to trim it and go on to the next one. And it should be just about the perfect length to get all three of those. The other strip that's there you'll want to use for, in your kit, you'll want to use for the box front. Okay, you'll have a tiny bit left over. Okay, so let's talk about adhering these. Basically, you're going to turn it over and add a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals at the corners, and maybe one like right alongside the letter so that you get a nice pop up on your letter. And then this gets adhered to the front of your card. Isn't that cute? And then tucked into the top of your envelope. So it rocks. Okay, my envelope doesn't, there we go. There we go. Okay, so tucked into the top of your envelope. So it just rocks right down the front there. And when you're all finished, you have your three letters. This one I put 3 trees on. This one I put just 1. But however you choose to decorate them, have fun playing with your little trees and your little houses and building villages. This is a great stamp set. So many fun things you can do with it. And I absolutely love it with the dies also. So make sure you check out my other Stamps in the Mail Club projects this month. And I look forward to sharing more projects with you soon. Happy stamping. Thanks so much for watching.